Wisdom Wednesday. It's Wisdom Wednesday. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. Hello, Facebook. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. So we have another training. We're going to go live and we're going to get all of your brand, every part of your brand together. As I do every Wednesday, I simulcast both on Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to pause for the cause and we're going to bring in the Instagram crew right now. Hello, it's Wisdom Wednesday. Hey, Instagram. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday, where every week I just pop in on your timeline for just a few minutes. Usually about hello, Mark Craig. Thanks for joining. Hello, Rogad Win the First. Thanks for joining. Benzu90, thanks for joining. I just pop in on your timeline for just a few minutes to share a piece of wisdom that I have learned in my personal brand journey, my entrepreneurship journey, or just my journey called life. My name is Nick Scott. I am a personal brand expert, a public speaker, and a social media influencer. And it is my mission, y'all, it is my mission to help as many women as possible, not just to establish, not just to grow, but to maintain their personal brands so that they can start to achieve the levels of success that they want to achieve in their careers and or their businesses. So as always, I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all's time, but today's piece of wisdom, okay, this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to go grab a pen and a piece of paper. This is the first time I'm doing this. I want y'all to go grab a pen and a piece of paper because the things that I'm about to talk to y'all about, I really want you to document it. I don't want you just to passively watch it. I really want you to document this and I want you to put it into action, like today. Because today's piece of wisdom is for you to protect your virtual brand. Protect your virtual brand. So many of us have spent so much time and effort and money and energy into building these really credible personal brands, very authoritative personal brands in the workplace. Hello, lovely Tony. Thanks for joining. And then we started working from home. As great as working from home is, some of us just were not created or made to work from home. So again, today's piece of wisdom is to protect your virtual brand. Protect your virtual brand, okay? Protect it. Protect it. As much as you would protect your offline brand, you need to be protecting your online brand. So as I do every week, I am simulcasting on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a slide presentation. But like I said, y'all go grab your pens and pencils and paper and whatever it is that you write with, use your notepad on your phone or something. But y'all need to make sure that you're taking these notes today. Okay, so the slideshow is not really important as it might be in some other trainings, but yeah, definitely want to take some notes on this one. Hey, Ambi Too Sweet, thanks for joining. Kikanomi, thanks for joining. We are going to be talking about protecting your virtual brand today, and we are going to jump right into this training, okay? So protecting your virtual brand, like I said, a lot of us have spent a lot of time, money, and energy into building these really great offline brands. Really amazing offline brands. And then we started working from home. And I'm gonna be honest, this particular piece of wisdom is coming directly from requests that I have gotten from people who are like, oh my gosh, Nick, folks don't know how to show up in these virtual meetings. So what you're going to learn today, you're going to learn what is a virtual meeting. I know it seems obvious what a virtual meeting is, but we're just going to clarify once and for all exactly what a virtual meeting is. Then we're going to talk about, just really quickly, some platforms for virtual meetings. And then I want to give you a checklist. And this is where your pen and paper is going to come in handy, because I want you to write these things down. And I want you to put these things in practice. Don't just passively listen to this training. This is so serious, y'all. This is so serious, because what is the point of having a personal brand that is so outstanding in this area offline, but then you get online and it took you years to build this brand, and in 2 seconds, it's gone. Your credibility is gone. Your authority is gone. So this checklist, I really want y'all to pay attention to it, okay? So what is a virtual meeting anyway? A virtual meeting is a real-time interactions that take place between several people over the internet using integrated audio, video, messenger tools, and application sharing capabilities. And that is not Nick Scott's definition. I got that from EDUCAUSE. And again, a virtual meeting, real-time interactions that take place between several people. Basically, it's a meeting on the internet. It is a meeting on the internet. That's exactly what a virtual meeting is. So some platforms, we're familiar with some of the main platforms: Zoom, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Slack, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, and also Free Conference Call has a great virtual meeting platform. But when we go back to the definition and we look at it again just a little bit more closely, and we're going to be revisiting this definition many times throughout today's piece of wisdom. Virtual meeting. Somebody write in the comment section. It's real-time interactions. Real-time. Just as if you were face-to-face. It's real-time interactions that take place between several people over the internet using integrated audio, video, and messenger tools. And it also could have sharing capabilities, right? So we talked about some of the more familiar platforms like Zoom and those places, but what about those not so thought about places like Facebook Live? That is a virtual meeting platform, or webinar platforms, or even YouTube Live. Those things also fall into that definition of a virtual meeting platform, right? So how are we going to protect our virtual brand? First of all, you're going to show up to your virtual meetings the same way that you would show up to a meeting if you were in person. If you don't get anything else from this training, this is what I want you to write down. Put it on a mirror, because let me tell you something. This might seem obvious to some of y'all. Really? Why are you even wasting my time talking about protecting my virtual brand and how to show up in meetings? Have you ever seen a rule that was so stupid and you were like, this is the dumbest rule ever? Who would ever do that? Well, the rule was made because somebody actually did that, and it caused a rule to be made about it. So again, this training is coming directly out of requests from professionals, entrepreneurs, and corporate professionals. So when you're showing up to your virtual meetings, the same way, y'all, there is no it's no different. It is no different. If you don't remember anything else, if you don't write down anything else, write this down. Show up to your virtual meetings the same way that you would show up to your in-person meetings. This is so for real, y'all. So for real. You have worked hard to build up your personal brand and your credibility and your authority and your leadership positions, right? You worked hard. So why, in the blink of an eye, showing up in a virtual meeting off brand. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? So here's some food for thought. Here's some food for thought for y'all. If the meeting organizer wanted to do a conference call, that's what they would have done. A virtual meeting is not a conference call. You cannot show up to a virtual meeting the same way that you would a conference call. Remember what I just said. Show up to your virtual meetings and presentations the same way that you would as if you were live and in person. So again, that definition of a virtual meeting, real-time interactions between several people that take place over the internet using integrated audio, video messenger tools, and sharing capabilities. So then what is a conference call, since I brought it up? Conference call is real-time audio. It's audio. Nobody sees you. Because the operative word in virtual meeting and that definition is video. That's why we're doing a virtual meeting. If I wanted to do a conference call, I would have set up a conference call, y'all. Okay? So if the meeting organizer wanted to have a conference call, that's the way they would have set it up. If they are setting up a virtual meeting, it's because they want to see you. They want to see you. If you were in a office setting and somebody called a meeting, whether you're an entrepreneur or a corporate professional, when you go to that meeting, you can't hide all of this. You can't hide your face and what's going on behind you. They're calling a virtual meeting because they want to see your face, so turn your camera on. And this is specifically for professional settings. If this is an organization or a group that you're in, depending upon how high level it is, this checklist doesn't necessarily apply. But definitely for your business, for your brand, turn your video camera on. Because if I wanted it to be a conference call, I don't care if there's an option for you to call in on your phone. If I wanted you to call in on your phone, I would have set up a conference call. But I set up a virtual meeting, so I want to see your face. So turn your camera on. Mute your sound upon entering the meeting, y'all. A lot of times the mute is already just by default. It's already by default on, but if it's not, just take this extra step to make sure you're muted when you join the meeting. Okay? It's just respectful. Unless you are speaking, keep your sound on mute. Speak up. Speak up in the meeting. Whispering doesn't work very well over the internet, so speak up during these meetings. Ensure that you attend the meeting in a well-lit area. So this kind of goes hand in hand with turning your video camera on. We want to see you. We want to see those beautiful faces. But if you're sitting in the dark, we can't see you. Best practice, especially with video, is to face a light source. The best light source is a window. But if you don't have a window, you can set a lamp in front of you. I'm not suggesting that you go out and spend hundreds of dollars on lighting equipment, but make sure that you are facing a light source, that a light source is sitting right in front of you that's the best way you're going to be lit. Don't put it behind you. Because if you put it behind you, and we've all seen it, right? Where somebody sits with their back to a window and then they get on the virtual meeting and they're just like a silhouette. It's because they're backlit. So put the lighting source in front of you if your area isn't well lit. Check to make sure that your background is free of clutter, okay? See, when we're offline, when we're in the office, people don't know what we got going on at home. They don't know if we're a tidy person. They don't know if we're a not so tidy person. Don't get on these virtual meetings showing all your business, right? Because people will draw conclusions from that based on the background that you have. So make sure that your background is free of clutter. Let others at home know that you are on a meeting. And I know some interruptions, they're inevitable and they're unavoidable. But if you let folks know, like, look, I'm on this meeting for the next hour or so, I don't need any interruptions, or please, can you help me with the baby, or whatever it is, make sure that people know that you're on this meeting. Your husbands, your wives, your kids, your neighbors, whoever it is, make sure that they know that you are in a meeting. Because here's the thing about working from home is that people act like they're at home. They don't act like they're in professional settings. Like I said at the beginning, some of us are just not cut out to work from home. We're just not. Eliminate the background noise. We don't want to hear toilets flushing and dogs barking and dishes being put away. Eliminate the background noise. Again, I'm going to go back to the one thing that I said a few minutes ago. If you don't write anything else down, if you don't remember anything else, show up to your virtual meetings the same way that you would show up to your in-person meetings. Our offline brands need to match our online brands. So just think about that. That's what this checklist is designed to do. So eliminate that background noise. Dress to impress. Okay? Dress to impress. Don't wear your workout clothes to the virtual meeting. Don't wear your pajamas to the virtual meeting. If you are scheduled to present at the virtual meeting, then you need to show up as if you are scheduled to present at the virtual meeting. Mind what you chat. Y'all, look, listen. These meetings, everything you type, it's a transcript. So somebody, typically the meeting organizer, has access to what you chat, even the stuff that you're chatting in private. Okay? Mind what you chat. If you really got to talk about somebody in the meeting, text them, or if that's what you got to do, but don't do it in the chat of the meeting. These meetings are often recorded. And anything that's said or sent over chat is documented. Y'all, if you won't do it in a face-to-face meeting, don't do it virtually. Okay? Mind what you chat. This is for all of my Apple users, because I don't know much about the other ones because I'm an Apple girl. And I only have Apple products, but we have the ability, Apple users, to turn the notifications off on our computers, just like we do on our phone. So turn them off. Those text messages coming in or phone calls coming in on your computer, you can control that. You can control that. So turn it off during the meeting. You can turn it back on after the meeting. Get your head out of your apps during these meetings. Like, the first thing that I asked you to do was to turn your camera on. So now that I can see you, I don't want to see you looking down, surfing the internet. I want to see you engaged. I want to see you participating. And that is the last tip that I have for you, is for you to participate in these meetings. Turn your camera on. Mute your sound upon entering the meeting. Unless you are speaking, keep your sound on mute. Speak up. We want to hear you and we want to see you. So ensure you attend the meeting in a well-lit area. And remember, I'm a stickler about this. This is why I'm really digging in on this one. The best lighting is when you have a lighting source sitting in front of you, or you're facing a lighting source. Don't put it behind you, because then you'll be backlit and you'll show up as a silhouette and we can't see you. Check to make sure your background is free of clutter. Let others in your home know that you are in a meeting. Eliminate background noise. Dress to impress. Mind what you chat. Mind what you chat. Turn the notifications off my Apple users, my fellow Apple, I love y'all. But turn those notifications off on your computer when you're in a meeting. Get your head out of your apps and participate in the meeting. Remember, show up to your virtual meeting the same way that you would show up to an in-person meeting. Show up. Y'all write that down. I said it like 45 times. Show up to a virtual meeting the same way you would show up to an in-person meeting. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you need to act like you're at home. This is very important. One of the people that asked me to do a training on this is an executive at a really, really, really big internet company. And he was like, yo, these people are showing up to these meetings just any kind of way. And another person who asked me to do a training on this is an entrepreneur. And they're like, man, you know, these people are just showing up any kind of way. You have worked hard to build your offline brand. Don't ruin it in 2 seconds of being online because you got the dog barking or because you're sending what you believe are private messages in the chat during the virtual. Don't let any of those things happen to you. Protect your virtual brand, y'all. Protect it. And of course, before I leave, I have to invite you to my free training that I am doing next week and on the 29th, so on the 22nd and the 29th, where I am going to be spilling the tea on 3 personal brand secrets just to help you advance your career and to increase sales for your business. I have 2 sessions that I'll be going over, and I'll be going into detail about how you can position yourself and build your credibility, build your authority, position yourself as a leader so that you can advance your career and increase sales for your business. So join me. If you're on Instagram, all you have to do is just click the link in my bio. If you are on Facebook, all you have to do is just click the link that is in the caption of this training. So what you just learned, you learned that you need to show up to your virtual meetings the same way that you show up to your in-person meetings, right? Specifically, you learned what a virtual meeting is. We talked really quickly about some commonly thought of and not so commonly thought of virtual meeting platforms. And then we went into depth about how you can protect your virtual brand. Show up to your virtual meetings the same way that you would show up in person. Thank you, Lovely Tony. Lovely Tony said it's very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that this is helpful. And I know it seems obvious, but sometimes those very obvious things are the things that we overlook the most. So protect it. Protect your online brand the same way that you would protect your offline brand. You're welcome. I am Erica Bell. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So yes, it has been Wisdom Wednesday. Let me bring the Facebook crew back in. It is Wisdom Wednesday. Today's piece of wisdom is to protect your virtual brand. Specifically, show up to those virtual meetings the same way that you would show up in person. Like, let's stop it. Be professional at home because our homes are now our workplaces. My name is Nick Scott, and I am a personal brand expert. I am a speaker and a social media influencer. This has been Wisdom Wednesday, and I will see y'all in the next one.